Hello and welcome everybody to 2002, and we would dazzle you with the candy apple paint job. This is such a beautiful club, and it really stood out to me. So what you're looking at here is the SMT Deep Bore 455. Do you guys remember this? 2002 started winning World Remax Long Drive Championships, and this was all over the internet, and I was just like always oogling it. I'm like, ooh, that's so cool. I'm gonna build a 50-inch version of it. And like, oh, shaft's only coming 46 inches. But either way, I thought it was super cool, and I wanted one. And my understanding is these are legal. I think the 5 and the 6 degree, correct me if I'm wrong, but the 5 and 6 degree I think were illegal, and all the others, like this is the 9 degree, were legal. So a really interesting club that caught my eye and introduced me to component clubs. But there's more to it. The story gets more juicy, candy apple juicy. So stay tuned, we'll talk about that. But right now, let's talk about some identifying features and get this under the microscope. It's easy to identify on the sole here. You can see the loft 9 here at the toe end of the sole. There's this huge slanted paint pattern over here. And then on the exposed titanium, there is the 455 Deep Bore SMT logo, which is interesting. It's like you hit a putt and then you hit a drive for some reason, and it goes flying like Bryson DeChambeau. It's going to, then it hits a jumbo jet and then falls straight down onto the green. That's what that, it's not a 4 or SMT, it's a drive. And it says vacuum forged beta titanium. Okay, there you go. As you spin around the skirt, it's two-toned around the hosel here, all the way around to the aft portion where it just goes to candy apple red. And then on the toe, see, I first saw these in 2000 and like for sale in 2004, but they won the 2002 championship. So you can see 384 yards, and then it says World Champion Long Drive. It has this like big decal here on the toe. Spinning around to the face, I love the no groove face, just a big face. Kind of gets deeper here by the toe, kind of reminds me of the Cleveland Launcher. Looking at it at address, you can see the titanium through. This is the most beautiful part of it. You can see the grain of the titanium through the candy apple finish. Oh my goodness, it is so beautiful. I love this. I'm just gonna, all right, I need to stop. Okay, so at address, this is what you're looking at. SMT branded ferrule on this one. As we spin up the graphite shaft, this is just an AccuFlex version 339 V2, whatever, A2, whatever that is, #1 in toward distance. Put that sticker on there to remind me 2002. And then this has a chamois, is that how you say it? Chamois grip, gold textured up here. Just a lovely rubber grip. So I'm super excited. Let's get this out on the range and see how it does. This feels like a modern driver. It really, and it's beautiful. It really does. Like when I was out there hitting, I'm like, if you told me, oh, this came out, I didn't look at it, and I was just the feel of it. I'd be like, this came out last year. I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. I wouldn't question it. It was just like, it felt amazing. It looks at address, it looks really good. Now let's talk about the juicy candy apple stuff here. In 2002, I was new into golfing like courses, right? I'd been to the range before, but I'd only been golfing for maybe a couple of years. And I remember telling my friends, and I golfed with one of my friends' dads, and I was like, did you see the SMT Deep Bore won the World Drive? And he was just like, oh, it's one of those cheap knockoffs. Because that's how he classified all component manufacturers. It's like, they just copy the big companies and then, sell them for cheap. I was like, oh, okay. So I hit kind of some resistance, with my excitement and enthusiasm for this club. I was just excited because, oh, and he also said, those long drive champions aren't golfers. It's like, yeah, they're not playing a golf game as such, but they are driving a golf ball, which is part of golf. And so, whatever, disagreed. But so kind of like took some of the wind out of my sails, and I was like, oh, okay, man, yeah, maybe I won't pursue this. But looking back, this had some significance in my life. I don't know if this is true for the golf industry as a whole, but this is when I realized that component clubhead manufacturers had caught up with some of the pro line stuff. That's my opinion. That's how I feel about this club. That's why it's significant. That's why I want it. And I've always wanted one. It's really cool. So let me know your thoughts about that. I don't know if that's going to be significant in the golf world. Oh, well, the vintage golfer thought that this was the turning point where components were starting to keep up with the pro line brands. Who knows? Now, this is not something I'm excited to put in my bag. If I were building a 2000s golf club set, this is at the bottom of the list. I can't think what I would pair this with. Some component irons and putter. Does that excite me? No, it doesn't really excite me. But this driver excites me. So maybe in the future, I'll build my own. Do you guys want to see me build my own set of golf clubs? I don't know if I'd put this in there, but I'd go out and buy some, go to GolfWorks and just order some components, or Hyreco Golf, and just see what you can find, and just like put together what I think would be a fun component set and play it. Would you guys want to see that? Components? Any interest in that? Let me know in the comments below. As usual, huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you for your support. On Patreon, I post some general behind the scenes stuff, and I like to message back and forth with my patrons. You can also support this channel by visiting my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualified purchases. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe.